Greetings, peers and queers. Welcome back to another episode of Monday through Friday. My name is JC, and on today's episode, we're going to do a part 2 to a video that I had made quite a while ago. On today's episode, I want to give you 10 examples, 10 signs, if you will, that you yourself or somebody that you know may in fact be a transgender woman. This is going to be how to tell if you're trans part 2. This one is not going to be a joke video as much as I want this to be a resource for people who are questioning, am I transgender? This is your video to hopefully help you out. And again, this is just criteria I'm putting out there. It does not necessarily mean that you are transgender, but if you have more than a few of these, chances are pretty likely that you might in fact be trans. So again, I will be talking to anyone who is or may be male to female, maybe a trans femme, a transgender woman out there. So with that context, let's get started. Number 1 is, if you are a boy and you refer to things as cute or pretty, not counting women, but if you refer to articles of clothing, stuffed animals, pictures, artwork as cute or pretty, that's a pretty big indicator. That's number 1. Number 2, if you can name more than 3 transgender celebrities, chances are that's a pretty strong indicator that you are thinking about transgender issues a lot more than your cis friends, a lot more than your cisgender peers. That might be because the whole issue of trans is on your mind, on your subconscious pretty heavily. Number 3, if liking girls makes you feel gay, if you feel gay for liking girls, the only reason that you would be gay for liking girls is if you were also a girl. I should have picked up on that one in my own life way sooner, but yes, liking girls and feeling gay for liking girls, strong indicator that you might be trans. Number 4, you have a working knowledge of computers. Hear me out on this one. You're very familiar with programming. You're very familiar with building or creating or reassembling computers. Hell, if you're just really good working on the computer, better than those around you, being a transgender woman usually goes hand in hand with having a very good aptitude when it comes to computers. In fact, a lot of early computer engineers and a lot of significant people in the field of computers have been transgender women. Just putting it out there. It's one of our little quirks. We tend to be good with electronics. We tend to be especially good with computers. Alrighty. Number 5. Do you ever look at certain actresses or female celebrities and you're like, wow, I wish I could be like her? If you are a man and most of your heroes, most of the people that you're like, wow, I wish I could be like them, are women, yeah, chalk that one up on the whole, you might be trans. Your subconscious might be telling you something, hey, you want to be her, go out and be somebody. Go out and be this person, not specifically her, but you have the power, you have the ability, go out there and be her. Number 6, it's a bit of a stereotype, but if you are heavily into anime, if you are a Western viewer that is big into anime, that's usually one of the characteristics of transgender women, is a lot of us are big into anime. I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to anime, but I do enjoy Black Butler. Team Rocket are my idols. I love Team Rocket. And yeah, I'm down with Pokemon. I'm down with Sailor Moon and stuff like that. But a lot of my friends are super into anime and can name some pretty obscure ones. Number 7, if you follow more than one trans content creator, chances are you are either a chaser or more likely you yourself are trans and have not accepted it yet or have not had that realization yet. Keep an eye on that one. If you follow more than one transgender content creator, you might be trans. Yeah. Some of my notes. I'm looking at my notes right here to see what other ones I have written down. Here's a good one. Number 8, your favorite months of the year are Pride and Halloween. If you refer to the months of June and October as Pride and Halloween without saying the actual name of the month, you are definitely queer, but you might just also be transgender. Let's see here. Number 9, you can spot any reference to Pokemon, Sailor Moon, or Studio Ghibli films from a mile away. Again, that kind of ties in with the whole anime thing. But being able to identify any reference to Pokemon, Sailor Moon, or Studio Ghibli films from a distance away, that's usually an indicator of being either non-binary or transgender. Just take me for my word on this one. A lot of the folks that I know that are like, hey, that's Pikachu, that's Totoro, you know what I mean? That's Sailor Neptune. They happen to be trans non-binary. Number 10, your phone's storage is mostly memes and selfies. If you have a phone and its storage space is running out because you have far too many selfies and you have a wide category of memes, that's another indicator that you might be transgender. Yeah. Number 11, do you wear makeup? Do you? Are you wearing makeup to feel better? Or are you like, hey, there's some kind of party, event, or some kind of thing going on at work and school? I can use this opportunity to put on some makeup. That's an indicator right there. If you were the first one to sign up for, yep, let me do that, chances are you might be transgender. Number 12, most of your friends are girls. You just happen to get along with girls a lot better than your male peers. Well, that's because you're part of the clique. Congratulations, sister. You're one of us. Lucky number 13, are you big into witchcraft? Are you big into the supernatural? Guess what? Not all witches are women, but a lot of us are. So you yourself might end up being a transgender witch. Guilty. I used to think that I was just another boy witch, but turns out that's not the case. That was not the case, and it might not be the case for you. Okay, now we're getting into the heavy stuff. Number 14. Do you feel like having to be the strong one, having to be the person who puts themselves out there, opens the door, lifts the heavy item, is constantly a workhorse, and is there to protect the women around you? Do you feel like you like protecting women, but it's a hardship having to put that tough persona on all the time? Do you feel like it's a costume that you wear? Like Frank the Rabbit said in Donnie Darko, why are you wearing that stupid man suit? Number 15, do you like pampering yourself? Are you known to take a bubble bath every once in a while? Do you make sure that your feet and your hands are smooth, soft, and callus-free? Do you look in the mirror and kind of like examine here and there and like do little tricks like hair removal and tweezing your eyebrows, stuff like that? That might be a sign. That you were meant for something different. Number 16. This is a big one. Number 16. Does the feel like the actual texture of boys' clothes, of men's clothes, like hurt a little bit? Does it feel uncomfortable? Similarly, are you not the biggest fan of having only the choices of black, white, brown, dark blue? Black, white, brown, dark blue. Black, white, brown, dark blue for any of your tops, pants, or jackets. If you would like to have a little bit more variety in your wardrobe, if you would like to have a few more options when it comes to the way that you dress in your garb, and you're not all down with black, white, brown, dark blue, hey, maybe you should be checking out the women's section of Goodwill or Marshall's. Just saying. If boys' clothes seem like they're a little bit too itchy, a little bit too stiff, a little bit too boring, and you wish that you could do something different, that you could express yourself a little bit more with what you wear, That's a pretty strong indicator that you might be transgender. Number 17, the music you listen to. Are some of your favorite artists Shakira, Alanis Morissette, Shirley Manson from Garbage? Do you find that you identify with like angry 90s females? Okay, let me ask you another one. Do you like electronic club music? Do you like electro swing music? Do you like goth music like Susie and the Banshees, Bauhaus, The Cure? Maybe there's a reason why your musical taste is different than your friends. Number 18, and this one's kind of a question for you. Try to think of yourself in your old age. Try to think of yourself when the best years of your life have passed you by, and your hair's turning gray, and your skin is becoming a little bit more wrinkled, a little bit more worn. Are you a man or are you a woman? Do you see yourself more as a grandpa or more as a grandmother? Thinking in the future of yourself in your old age, do you see a man or a woman? Do you see a grandpa or do you see a grandmother? Well, there you go. Number 19, when you are with friends, when you're with romantic partners, does it feel like you have a really deep secret that you haven't told anyone yet? Does it? Does it seem like you have this like deep, deep secret that if they only just asked, you would tell them and you're dying to tell them, but you're afraid of what they might think? Again, you might be queer, you might be transgender. Number 20, things like Axe body spray or men's colognes, when you smell them, it kind of offends you a little bit. Or reversely, it kind of turns you on a little bit. If you yourself cannot picture wearing a heavily scented man's cologne smelling like a man, chances are you might not be a man. You might not be a dude. 21, you're more into girly foods and beverages. You're more into like wines and seltzers than you are strictly into beer or whiskey. It's a small one, but it's an indicator. 22, when you're at work and you're surrounded by your coworkers, and then your boss comes up and says, "Good job, ladies," or "Good morning, ladies." It makes you feel good to be included. That's probably a sign. It always used to make me feel good. That is a big sign. That always made me feel better when I was surrounded by my coworkers and my boss would just be like, "Ladies, you did a terrific job today." I'm like, "Thank you." And then they're like, "Oh, but we forgot you." And I'm like, "No, you didn't. You included me right the first time. Thank you." 23, this can depend on the type of person that you are. This might not pertain to everyone because I do know a few girls who this does not pertain to. You're not big into sports. You don't know much about cars. You're not the biggest hunter or athlete. That kind of activity stuff just doesn't appeal to you at all, no matter how hard you try or how much you want to be there for your friends and family. I would much rather be an artist, a writer, doing something in the kitchen, taking care of children, than I would want to like go fishing or mow the lawn. That's just me, but maybe that's you too. And lastly, number 25. If you wish that you could be a woman, or if you wish that you could meet transgender women and just like ask them questions, pick their brain, what would it feel like to be intimate as a woman? What would it feel like to like live this way my entire life? If you ever dream about being a woman, or you wish that you could be a woman, then the answer is you are probably 100% trans. If you were born one thing and you're wanting to be this other thing, you are that thing. Go for it. Start. Begin the work today. The longer that you wait, the more you will regret it later. You can start at any time. Don't get me wrong, you can start at any time. But you are going to appreciate yourself a lot more if you start early. If you start as soon as you know. Take my advice. If you know this about yourself, if you know that you're transgender, and you're just like, "I don't know how to get started," or what will my friends think, or what will my family think? Will I lose myself? Don't bother with all those what ifs. Start the work, begin the process, see what you can do to begin today. Even if that's like, just shaving your arms and your legs, even if that's just working on the voice, even if that's just changing up little things about your wardrobe or applying subtle details, like fingernail polish here and there. Begin today and start enjoying it and practicing it and working towards your goals. Because you are going to want to, when you finally get there, when you finally are like, wow, I'm it. I'm who I've always wanted to be. You are going to kick yourself in the butt for not starting as soon as you thought so, as soon as you knew. It's not a bad thing to start a little bit later due to safety issues or family issues, but you are going to, when you finally get there, regret waiting so long. So my advice would be just try. Just test it out, see if it works for you, get the ball rolling. By no means must you have all of those checked off to be valid as a transgender individual. You can have only like 2 or 3 of those and still be trans. You can have only 1 of those and still be trans. On the other hand, if you do have multiple of those checked off on your list, yes, this applies, yes, this applies, you might want to think about it a little bit. You might want to go back into your past a little bit and be like, are there any signs, any indicators telling me that, hey, I might in fact be transgender? Think about it. So if you've enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that like button. Also, if you have any questions or you just want to tell me thanks, you can go ahead and write so down in the comments below. Share this video with a friend. Other than that, I love you all very much, and I hope that you love yourself too. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing all of you again next week. Bye.